Hi everyone, so I'm going to do my reflection today on the readings, and I'm using the Saturday readings, not the Sunday ones. So the Saturday readings are all about, in Isaiah, God rebuilding, God restoring, and the Psalm. And then we go into Jesus's New Testament gospel that he's telling the disciples to go out in pairs and to accept the food that is given to them, to accept the homes that are provided with them, to stay with reputable people, and not to salute anyone on the way. So I think sometimes people wonder, I know I wondered, what do they mean by don't salute anyone on the way? And in the Eastern culture, and also in the African culture, to salute is not like this saluting them. It's a whole series of customs where you stop, you talk to somebody, you ask about their day, you make small talk, find out about their families. That's what it means to salute someone. So when Jesus is telling them that their mission is urgent and not to stop along the way, he's telling them not to waste their time to get to the place where they need to be, and when they go there, to stay there. So it's interesting how the cultural component comes into that. And for me, for this season of my life, this is a season of rebuilding, God restoring me, God helping me. And my life is not wasted. Other people might see my life as a waste, but God has his own way of seeing. And this 2 years that I've been at home, that first year, it was very, very challenging. I was surprised actually at how quickly the medication worked, because once you start taking this hypertension medication, it starts working almost immediately. Like within a month, I saw a difference in my high blood pressure. So it was a time for me of letting other people help me, letting my doctors help me, letting my doctors tell me like what to read, what to focus on. So all the links that I follow now, they were sent to me by my doctor, Dr. James Wood. And he's not far from here. He's located close to where I used to work at Young and Eglinton. He's a few blocks down from there. So he sent me a lot of links on being borderline diabetic, what foods to eat, on how to manage your high blood pressure. There's a lot of different conflicting information on when to take it, when is the best time to take it. And so I had a lot of educating to do, education of myself, because I had to read a lot, I had to learn a lot. I got some guides from Amazon, like food charts, about which foods are good. I mean, most of them are foods I was eating anyway, but I had the knowledge, but I just wanted to make sure that they were not going to exacerbate my hypertension, because some foods affect you differently as well. And in that restoration, in that God's restoration, knowing that we are God's beloved, I also used my own gifts and talents. So whenever I hit these lows, it's really sad for me, because I have a method that I follow and it works for me. And it's increasing my time of adoration. So I don't have to go to the church. Today we have YouTube. We have platforms where the Blessed Sacrament is displayed. I have icons in my house that represent the Blessed Sacrament. So I'll do some adoration. I'll continue my prayer time. And then I play my piano. I use my essential oils. So for hypertension, I use clary sage, I use lavender, and I use quite a lot. So I found different recipes that I can use and follow. Normally, I'll only put in like 2 to 3 drops, but when I'm treating myself, I'll put in 15 drops of the different oils, like lavender, clary sage. I use bergamot, and some of these oils are used in medical treatments. So when you work with a team of holistic practitioners, the doctors will incorporate some of that into how they treat you. Not so much here, but in England they do use it. So this time of restoration has been about not being there for others so much. Even though I am still there for others, I also had to say, when I can't take it, I can't take it. And knowing that I have to be well to work, and your job search takes up your whole life. There's not one day that I've had off. There's not one day that I haven't applied for jobs, that I haven't used different job search strategies, that I haven't networked with people, that I haven't reached out to people on LinkedIn, that I haven't checked Facebook and social media to see, okay, where are the jobs coming up? And it's not just hard for me, it's also hard for friends, for family, for my church, because in that 2 years, I remained on the parish sick list for prayers for quite a lot of it. Normally when I get sick, I don't put my name on the parish sick list. But this time it was too serious. So I had my name on the parish sick list, and I had people know in the parish that I was not well at all. And then once I started stabilizing and getting better, then I told Father to take it off. And then he took it off for me. But that's how God restores us. God loves us whether we are sick or whether we are well, whether we have money or we don't have money. In fact, God loves the poor and the ones who are vulnerable more than the others. And we've seen that through the themes in the Bible, how the prophets are sent to the widows. They send to the ones that people don't expect, and how that causes anger in the rich. It's like, why is Jesus reminding us that it's the outsider that then becomes the insider? And it's an ongoing cycle. In this life, and especially in the Western societies, they break the society. They break it, and then they put systems in place to try to fix it. But most of the time it's intentional. So you'll find things happening like the government will shut down in the United States and nothing can move ahead. Meanwhile, people are suffering. They can't get their money to go buy food. They can't get their payments. And it happens here too. It happens in Canada too. So it's unfortunate, but in a democracy, unlike in a communist country, like in a communist country, you can't speak out. You can't say anything. You have to not say anything, because that government that's in power, it's going to be a continuous government. It's like ZANU-PF. ZANU-PF is in power, it's going to be in power of like, the person can be like 86, 89, 90, not sure what's happening. They'll still be there in that position of power. But in democracies, if you don't speak out, if you don't speak up, if you don't call for restoration, if you don't call for binding up of the wounds, then nothing changes, because the government is just going to do what they think is best. And it's the same, like here they wanted to push for people to have their taxes filed automatically. I don't agree with that, because many of us who were working at the executive level, in the banks, in consulting, and yes, it was short-term work, it wasn't stable long-term work, we got pushed into poverty. So you can't tell me that I can't file my taxes, that I don't know how to do my taxes. There was one year I went to H&R Block, and I went to do my taxes there, and the way they were doing it, it was suspicious to me, because they wanted to charge so much money. So then I went to the bank and they said to me, don't give it to them, just do it at home. They don't know what they're doing, and the information they're telling you is wrong. So I do my taxes myself. I've always done them myself. It was just that one year I had some things that were not normal, and it's not that hard to do your taxes. You just have to follow the box of what is in that box and what you have to report and put it in. Somebody even with a high school education can do their taxes. You don't need it. It's not rocket science. So if we don't push back and tell them what we want, what works for us, then things are not going to be restored. Because they'll just be, and even people who are homeless, they're not people who you think they are. They're CEOs, they're people who ran companies, they're people like me who lost everything through no fault of our own, that are the homeless. And people like Doug Ford just go in there and say, oh yeah, we're going to clear the camps now, we're going to bulldoze this down. Well, it's fine for him, because he's earning a lot of money and he's traveling all over the world, and even that private jet he bought, people spoke out about it. If that happened in Africa, people wouldn't say anything. They'll be like, oh, that's the government that let them have their private jets and whatever. But here, people don't. People don't, because we're not willing to accept that. If our money is being spent on taxes and things, even if you go to the store, even if you're not working, you buy something at the store, that's taxes. Your taxes pay for the roads, they pay for our politicians' salaries. So we also have a right to say that, you know what, this is not right. You should be giving us at least a basic income that you promised in your election promises of 3,000 to 4,000, so that people can live and come up and not sink into destitution. And what happened in England, our Prime Minister, people thought that our Prime Minister would not survive because of what happened in England. Because people in England, all the newspapers in England, all the journalists in Australia, in other countries, they said, why are they voting for him? He destroyed the countries. He destroyed what England was. He destroyed the economy. So how come people are voting for him? But he's still there, and he's still in his position of authority. So it's our choices that are not only affecting us, they're affecting other people. And my choices were all good ones. My choices to study, my choices to improve my skills, my choices to network, my choices to sponsor my mother and bring her to Canada. Anyone can do it. Anyone can do it. Anyone can do the things I've done. If you have a good paid job and you prove that you're earning and you prove that you are meeting your responsibilities, anyone can sponsor their mother. It's not rocket science. The government just wants to know that you've got a good job, that you're able to provide if you're bringing that person here. And look at what happened to my life. After that one job loss at TD, I wasn't able to get anything. And it's not like my managers didn't fight for me, they did. In all the banks, at TD, at RBC, at BMO, they tried to bring me in on a contract first and then make me permanent. And it never worked. And I told him, you need to bring me in permanent. This thing of contract, the contract ends and then they let me go. So I compete. I don't sit back. I compete with everybody. I compete. I upgrade my skills. I do what I need to do, whether it's for my spiritual care that I provide or working in the banks or whatever it is, I compete. Because the jobs that I got as a consultant, working in the banks, working at BMO, at RBC, at TD, even people who are born here don't get those jobs. But because I had the support of the executive, I had the support of the managers I worked with, I worked hard, I'm diligent, I'm reliable. Because I take that seriously, they gave me those opportunities. And I did well. I did well in all the banks. So then when someone lets you go because they don't like your personality, there's a bunch of rubbish. That's what happened to me at CIBC. That's why I never went back. I never went back to CIBC. I never because if you are firing me based on the fact that you don't do your work, you're not reliable, you're not capable of holding a job, you're not capable of speaking English, you're not capable of training others and building others up, you're selfish, you only want everything for yourself and you're not willing to train the next lot of people coming in, then yeah, you can let me go. But to let me go because you woke up one day and you decided you don't like my personality, oh no, CIBC can keep it. I never applied there again for a long, long time. It's only now recently I started applying to them. But that's what God's message is about. It's in our daily lives. It's in our daily lives that God calls us and says, you are my disciple, you are my beloved, you are the one I'm restoring. And that's why people are not willing to let the government destroy this country. They're not. We're pushing back. And even the food banks themselves are saying we don't want to stay in business like this forever. We don't want the companies giving us all this food and having long lines of people who are working can't afford to buy food. In Canada, in a rich country like Canada, that's not the aim of the food banks. It's supposed to be temporary, it's supposed to be a stopgap, and people like me are supposed to be able to get into those good paid jobs, those jobs paying over $100,000 a year. If you work hard and you get the credentials and you study and you do well and you're diligent, why not? Why not? So yeah, if they call the police, I go 10 times sometimes to the city market. Let them call the police, I don't care. I want to go. I want to go to the city market and metro and everywhere and get what I need. I don't want somebody to pick it up for me, package it and bring it and drop it off at my house. I want to go myself. So when they call them, I just look at them and I walk out. Because they're bloody idiots. They're idiots. Why are they calling them to tell them where I am? It's got nothing to do with anybody where I go and what I do. It's my life. And in this day and age in Canada, it shouldn't be accepted. It shouldn't. It's got nothing to do with anyone. That's why I liked it in England. I did so much in England. I used to go on day trips. I used to do Contiki tours. I used to get up on a Saturday. I would get up and go to the art galleries. I did so much. And I had my freedom. I loved it. I loved it in England. Even in South Africa. Even though the crime and things were high, I did a lot. Yeah, I just sit at home. Because if you don't have money, what are you going to do? You think you can go out and enjoy your life? You can't. You can't. Everything costs money. Everything. And I didn't come to this country to be told that we are so concerned, we don't think you're capable of holding a job. Bullshit. Bullshit. I shouldn't have to go and work graveyard shifts and take doctor's notes that are disrespected and not accommodated for anxiety. It's bullshit, because my doctor even told me, as long as you work an 8-hour shift and a day shift 5 days a week, you'll be fine. You don't even need the medication. They can't put so much pressure on you. They refused. Then I landed up getting stage 2 hypertension. That's the bullshit of Canada. That's what it is. And that is not the restoration of the gospel. It's not. Profit at all costs. You must be kidding. You must be kidding. And it doesn't just happen to me. I've met people who've worked at Deloitte, at Accenture. They've landed up having heart attacks and they've had to fly them from New York to here because of the amount of pressure that people get put under. And it's not acceptable. It's not right. That call to discipleship in whatever you're doing, whatever your work is, that call to discipleship is there. And I'm praying, I pray, Lord, if it is your will, give me that favor. Give me those promotions, those good paid jobs, that favor on my resumes, and let people remember me, even my enemies. Let their hearts be changed so that they see how good I am, because I am yours and I belong to you, and nobody is going to snatch me away from Jesus. No one. They hated Elvis. What was he doing? Did he do anything to them? He didn't. He was living his faith. That's racism.